Hi, my name's Paul. What I'm going to show you is a project that I've started to simplify the installation of a Gluster cluster. So on screen at the moment you can see I have 4 nodes. They're all Red Hat storage nodes, 1-1, 1-2, 1-3 and 1-4. So before we start, let's take a look at the current Gluster environment by querying the peers. As you can see, we've got no peers. Obviously with no peers we've got no volumes. Okay, so we are at an initialized state. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invoke this Gluster deploy tool that I've started writing. The tool itself is Python. It doesn't use any external frameworks like Django. It is just Python, JavaScript and CSS. So let's invoke it. Right, so the first thing we're seeing is that we have an access key and a web address. So as you can gather from that, the wizard that I've written is web-based. I'm not using the CLI, I'm trying to make this as friendly as possible. So let's go to this web address. And here we have the front end. So at the moment what I've done is I've disabled the key, but basically just to sort of reduce the test cycles that I go through. Makes it easier for me. But the idea is that I just do a quick lookup to make sure that whoever is accessing this UI is actually responding with a valid access key to get to the point where they're actually configuring the cluster. So for the moment we can just click next. What we see now is an overview of the steps that the tool actually does. So we're going to perform node discovery, we're going to use SSH keys to do all the configuration work across the nodes for us, so we need to grab those keys and distribute them. Once those keys are distributed, then we can look at disk discovery and find unused disks. So by unused I mean they're not claimed by a valid partition, they're not claimed by Btrfs, and they're not claimed by the LVM. And once we have those disks, the final stage so far is the brick definition. So this is basically going to format those discovered disks to a standard which is going to be consistent across all the nodes and appropriate for use within Gluster. So we click next. So the first thing is node discovery. So on this test system, each of my nodes has just got the one NIC. So the tool has actually discovered that's the subnet that these boxes are actually on. So all I need to do is hit scan. And while it's scanning, we can have a look at the log file that the tool uses here, the Gluster deploy log, so we can see progress as we go. So you can see here that we've actually got an indication of what it's actually doing. So this scan is actually looking for Gluster D processes that listen on port 24007. It's found them and it's added them to the UI. Okay. So we just want to select them, add them to the list. The asterisk basically means that's the local box that we're running from, 1-1 here, and we create. Okay, again returning back to the log, we can see the peer probe is all successful. The next point is the SSH keys. So in my test environment I'm just using a generic password for all the hosts. So let's do this. But if you weren't using generic password, we could select this option and then all these fields for all the nodes that you have would become available. So if you do start off with installs which have unique passwords for each node, that's also possible. Again, looking at a log, you can see that it's all been added okay. Click next. So now we have the SSH keys. Now that gives us the capability to actually throw scripts across to each of these nodes. So I'm going to issue the find disks, which is going to throw a Python script across to each of the nodes to discover these unused drives. Right, so now what we have is visibility of, on this node we have VDB, /dev VDB, is an unused disk, and it is 10 gig in size, 10 gig, 10 gig, 10 gig. So these would be candidates for any kind of bricks. So this is where you get the option of actually picking which file systems or which devices you want to use as Gluster bricks. We click on select, so we want them all, and next. Now before we do any kind of brick definition, there's a few questions that need to be asked which help us define the file system which is going to go on the bricks, because there are subtle variances depending upon the use case that we're going to be using for the volume. So we just give these fields here. So if we look at use case, virtualization, object storage and generic file serving, so I'm just going to choose that one. This is the percentage of space reserved for snapshots. I'm setting a default at 10, but you can go up to 30. That's just guidance I'm starting with. And also I've sort of pre-populated these fields here, so I'm going to create a Gluster volume group for these bricks across these nodes. And if we look over here, we can see the brick process actually running. Okay, and once that's done, we get the finish screen, which basically says I've created a cluster, I've discovered your disks, and I've also formatted the disks that you selected and mounted them to each of the nodes. And with this process is actually finished now. So we can return back to our, in effect, master node, hit Control C, job done. If we look at the nodes themselves and issue a DF, we can obviously see that we have a Gluster brick allocated. Do the same on each of these. And again, if we look in Gluster itself, we can see that we've got the cluster formed. Okay. So as it stands right now, you would need to take the bricks that we've just created and manually do a vol create. What I'll be working on in the next few weeks is looking at adding in the volume create process to the UI as well. So you'll end up with a tool which will effectively create the cluster, find the devices, format those devices, and form a volume for you, all in one easy to use UI. Okay, thank you.